Hey y'all, welcome back. So the last video I posted, I did this kind of share about grief and I really enjoyed it, and our home now is completely open and ready for foster placements. We did all of our paperwork, everything's resubmitted, everything's updated, so our home is ready for a foster placement. And as I'm getting our home ready, I am realizing that a lot of feelings of fear have taken over. And I believe it's taken over because I'm in a different place than I was before. So I kind of just wanted to share and talk on fears of fostering, fears related to foster care, and specifically for me, fears of reopening my home and starting to accept new foster placements. So when I first started the process of becoming a foster parent, I was a little afraid because I was the only single parent in the group going through the training. So I worried if I'd be able to handle a child on my own, if I'd be able to meet every need that they had, because there's a lot of things behind the scenes you have to do as far as being a foster parent, appointments, sessions, different things like that. And when I finished my paperwork and I got licensed, my next fear was, will this kid like me? Will I be able to meet their needs? And in the time of COVID, when I started fostering, I was afraid, of the kid getting sick, germs and sickness being carried back and forth during visits. Like, those were the typical worries that I had. But this time around, I realized that I'm in a completely different place. So I was talking to a friend who was also reopening her home. And when we both started fostering, we had no children in our home. And now when we're reopening our homes, we both have a child of our own, and a very young child at that. So I started thinking about all the things that could go wrong, or all the things that, could happen by bringing in a new child into our home. So I was like, what if my child does not get along with this child, or vice versa? What if my child feels neglected? What if the child that comes into the home feels like an outsider? What if my child feels like I'm replacing them? What if they get attached to each other and it's hard for them to separate, because the goal is for this child to return home to their family? And I was going back and forth wondering, is this even a good idea? Should I be opening up my home, especially with a child so young, And my child really loves older kids, so I was like, maybe I should only bring in older kids, or, just really going back and forth about, should I leave my home open? Should I close my home? I don't want to do anything that would affect my child negatively, but would also impact someone else's child that I bring into my home. And, for the past 2 years, my son has been raised as an only child. He's never had to share me. He's never had to share a room. He's never had to share toys or anything with anyone else. And of course, he goes to daycare, so he knows how to share, but it's different when you're in your own home. And I'm not going to lie, I thought about closing my home every day for the past 2 months because the fear of what could go wrong was so consuming. But then I remembered something that was so obvious but just did not stand out to me at the time, was that at some point all families go through some sort of change. Families have to face different things every day as a unit. Bio families, foster families, adopted families. At some point, the family dynamics are going to change and people are going to have to adjust. Maybe the family welcomes in a newborn into the family, or, somebody moves away and you have to adjust. And so I started looking at the positive what ifs, And so as long as I'm doing my part, loving on each child, giving each child the attention and love that they need, and just pray a whole lot and ask the Lord to fill in the gaps, then hopefully, this will be a very positive experience for everyone all around. And then hopefully one day I'll have a biological child of my own. And then some of these tools that I'm learning through this process will help me navigate those fears as well. And so the point of all of this is that we can either let fear control us, or we can live our lives and face our fears. And so if you haven't been able to tell up until this point, I am welcoming a new little into my home. Now, it's not an emergency placement, so I've had time to mentally and physically prepare myself. We're preparing for this new placement. We're really excited to see what the future holds. But yeah, stay tuned for the updates, in our first few days, first few weeks together as we're adjusting to life with someone new in our home. And I'm adjusting to being a parent to 2 littles because they are very close in age. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, and like this video if you would like to see more of this kind of content. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.